Welcome to the Bibbidi Bobbidi Basics podcast, a lifestyle podcast with a magical twist. I'm your host, Caitlin May, and I'm a self-proclaimed Disney adult and childless millennial who is obsessed with Harry Potter, Florida sunshine, and all things basic. Here on the podcast, I chat weekly about everything Disney, Harry Potter, theme park news, and navigating my basic late 20s life. Hello, Magical Basics. Katie here. Welcome back to the pod. I cannot believe that we are already on season 3 of BBB. I know everything looks and sounds different, and there has been a lot of change. Of course, I'm going to address and explain everything that is new and the reason behind everything. But first, let's get into the news of the week with a whole new vibe. This is the Bibbidi Bobbidi broadcast. So for today's Bibbidi Bobbidi broadcast, we are looking into everything that has happened in the entire month of September. And it is quite a lot, so I'm going to pull out my phone and we're just going to take it one step at a time. Okay, so for the broadcast, I wanted to start dividing our news stories into sections. So first section, let's start off with Disney in general, Disney World, all of the different parks, and the international parks as well. So let's start off in Magic Kingdom. What has been happening in Magic Kingdom? First news article, scratch that. Without going into the broadcast, let me just say that every single news article that I refer to in this episode will be linked in the show notes and in the description box down below. They will also be on our Instagram and our YouTube feed. So any of these news stories that I reference, if you want to look back and read the exact article, you are more than welcome to. You can find them in any of those places, but I'm just going to be giving the highlights. So now we can get into the broadcast. So starting off in Magic Kingdom, Splash Mountain's re-theme. We have gotten a little bit more news on Splash Mountain's re-theme. We have been shown an original painting by Sharika Mahdi, who is the artist who is hired to create work to inspire the Imagineers, who are retheming Splash Mountain. Her painting depicts the ride's final scene, and it's described as a Mardi Gras party, which this Cajun queen is all about. It is likely that this scene will be located after the big drop, where the characters on the riverboat are located in Splash Mountain currently. We don't yet have a time frame for when this transformation will happen, but we know that we'll be getting some new characters in the ride and that the ride will be connecting who Tiana was in the movie to who she will be in the future. So it takes place after the film. Other things happening in Magic Kingdom. As of September 12th, the Diamond Horseshoe has reopened. Such a fun dining experience. If you want to experience that, that is now reopened. And also the Main Street Confectionery has reopened September 29th. So again, a beloved location in Magic Kingdom reopened once again. Moving on to Epcot, there will be a new creperie built by Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. This creperie has replaced the creperie cart that was in front of the France Pavilion. The new creperie will feature the cuisine of celebrity chef Jerome Bucos. The menu is inspired by the Brittany region of France, which is very exciting to me personally. That is where my family comes from. And I still have family living in today. My husband Jonathan and I visited Brittney and we experienced their lovely crepes. So we are really hoping for a buckwheat crepe at this new creperie. It is a table service dining as well as having a quick service option. So either way, you will be able to enjoy some delicious crepes. Space 220 is high on the buzz charts for Epcot quite recently. It opened on September 20th. It is a new restaurant in Epcot. The vibe is that you board one of the 2 space elevators that will transport you to what seems like 220 miles above the Earth, hence the name, to the Centauri space station. On the elevator, you can look down at a viewpoint to see Epcot shrinking away, and if you look up, you'll be able to see the space station as you are approaching. The food looks divine, and it is culinary masterpieces that look so futuristic and delicious. Fun story, and if you know me personally, you know why I am excited for this story. The Greek travel pages reported this month that the Hellenic, I hope I'm saying that right, Electronics Center launched an online petition to get a Greece pavilion in World Showcase. I have been saying that we need a Greece pavilion for so long. The food would be fire, and it would be so fun to have Hercules meet and greets there. The petition gained support and has over 3,500 people signatures, I should say. So that would be really awesome if we got a Greece pavilion in World Showcase. I am certainly not alone in thinking that. We will be getting live concerts for Food and Wine. Of course, Food and Wine has already started, but they are constantly adding new musical acts. If you are interested in seeing what musical performances will be available when you are here at Food and Wine, the entire article and lineup will be linked in the description box below and the show notes. Last but not least, for Epcot, Club Cool has reopened. Let the choirs sing. Let us all rejoice. I actually visited the new Club Cool. The design is amazing. It's absolutely gorgeous. You can taste and sample like you could before in the original Club Cool. And Beverly is back. Rest assured, we did not lose Beverly. So Club Cool actually opened on September 15th, along with the new Creation Shop, which is actually a shop in Future World that has replaced Mouse Gear. Lots of beautiful new Spaceship Earth merch, Epcot merch just in general. Stunning stores, both of them. If you are here at any point in time, definitely visit those 2 stores. Moving on to studios. Big story out of Hollywood Studios is, of course, Rise of the Resistance. As of September 23rd, you do not have a virtual queue anymore for Rise of the Resistance. It is only standby and, of course, Lightning Lane soon to come, which is a paid option for basically replacing FastPass. Moving on to Disney's Animal Kingdom, Kite Tales, which is a new show, brand new for the 50th anniversary, has been announced. It will showcase some of our favorite Disney characters. It is a daytime kite show coming to the Discovery River Theater near Dinoland. And it will have several show times throughout the day, so you are able to catch it at least once, if not several times if you're interested. It is announced that Expedition Everest is getting a refurbishment. Sources say that the roller coaster at Animal Kingdom will be closed starting January 4th, and then that should last through sometime mid-April. Everybody just speculates that it's for routine maintenance, so if that's the case, maybe y'all should stop throwing y'all's hair ties. I'm just saying. Let's treat Everest with the respect that it deserves, you know? Also, Disco Yeti, probably not the main reason for the refurb. Speculations are that the January to mid-April timeline is much too quick to actually work on the foundation of the ride itself, which would be necessary to reconstructing and fixing Disco Yeti. So probably not getting a new Yeti or an operable Yeti for that matter. Good news, though, is that we are getting a reimagined Finding Nemo show, a newly reimagined show based on the fan favorite characters from the musical that's currently being created and will debut in 2022. So we can rest assured that songs like In the Big Blue World and Go With the Flow will be a part of that reimagined production. And then construction walls were sighted around Primeval Whirl. So we don't know if it is being removed or replaced or what, but something is definitely happening in Dinoland, USA. So interested to see what that leads to. As for Disneyland California, Disney Princess Breakfast Adventure reopened on August 26th. Festival of the Holidays is coming back. There will be special parades, fireworks, costumes, etc. That's going to be from November 12th through January 9th. 2 new Magic Key experiences opened in Disneyland. One in Disneyland at the old Starcade in Tomorrowland. It's now the Magic Key Starcade experience. It's basically a glorified lounge, but don't call it a lounge. You will find Instagram-ready photo backdrops, occasional socially distanced appearances by Mickey and other Disney characters. It's going to be open daily from noon to 6 through October 30th. So when you're listening to this, the whole month of October, you are able to use this lounge. And then also in Disney's California Adventure, the former alfresco tasting terrace is now a permanent sit-down dining location exclusively for Magic Key holders. So very cool dining experience in Disney's California Adventure. And then Very Merriest Nights has been announced. It is a new separate ticket, limited capacity, that is for the holiday season at the Disneyland Resort. You can join Mickey Mouse and his friends from 8 p.m. until midnight on one of the 5 select nights during November and December by purchasing a ticket to this special event. Some of the exciting things that will be here for the party: Princess Tiana plans to ring in Noel in New Orleans Square. Miguel from the Pixar film Coco will be wishing everyone a Feliz Navidad in Frontierland. Select attractions will be available, including It's a Small World, Haunted Mansion, etc. And they will have a Christmas fantasy parade. So exciting things in Disneyland. As far as the international parks, the only thing that really happened was that Tokyo Disney Sea turned 20 on September 4th. And then moving on to just other miscellaneous Disney news. Jungle Cruise will probably have a sequel coming our way after it grossed over $100 million for the Walt Disney World Company. So I would bring a sequel back as well if it did that well. The 50th anniversary TV special is actually premiering today as you're listening to this on October 1st. It is the most magical story on Earth, 50 years of Walt Disney World. It is a 2-hour-long event. It'll start at 8 p.m. Eastern, and it can be viewed the next day on demand or on Hulu. And then it will show up later in the month on Disney+. Steakhouse 71 is a new steakhouse that's actually going to replace the Wave in the Contemporary. It is a new casual-themed dining concept that gets its name from the restaurant's opening year. The Poly Monorail actually reopened on September 5th. This station has been closed since November 2020. And it faced major reconstruction, but now it is completely finished and looks absolutely stunning. Pog Juice is back. If you don't know what that is, it is passion fruit, orange, and guava. There was a very large absence of it. Nobody could find it. And due to the shortage, Disney actually changed their source from Minute Maid / Coca-Cola to Nestle. So Pog Juice is back in the parks. One of my favorite stories to come out of September is that SHANG-CHI, one of the newest Marvel Universe films, broke records on its opening weekend. It was expected to pull in around $50 million over the long weekend that it released, but it actually debuted with $71.4 million earned in only its opening weekend. Phenomenal movie. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely go. Muppets Haunted Mansion will be streaming on October 8th on Disney+. So expect family-friendly scares, new music, and a lot of celebrity cameos. The detailed article is linked down below. It looks so cute, and I'm very excited to watch it during the Halloween season. We also got a glimpse at the new fireworks theme song, You Are the Magic, written and performed by Grammy winner and former Walt Disney World cast member Philip Lawrence. Of course, when you are listening or watching to this episode, it has already premiered because it's October 1st and the first show of it is tonight. So that is insane that we have a brand new fireworks show to celebrate the 50th anniversary. Another exciting news is that Baby Yoda is getting his very own Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade balloon. It will be an original Funko Pop inspired design as part of a collaboration between Funko and Macy's. The balloon will make history because it is the first time a Star Wars balloon has ever been a part of the parade in all of its 95 years. How is that a thing that we have never had a Star Wars parade before Baby Yoda? High School Musical, the series, has been renewed for a third season. No word yet on when it will premiere, but it is during summer when they are at a camp. So very High School Musical 2 vibes, if I do say so. Also, Disney struck gold at the Emmys this year. It took home an impressive 10 awards. Disney Plus did really well for a streaming service. It earned 6 wins. The Disney company as a whole brought in 10 awards, 3 for The Mandalorian, 3 for Pose, 2 for WandaVision, 1 for The Connors, and 1 for the Oscars. And lastly, for Disney news, the Electrical Water Pageant is actually getting 50th anniversary editions. It's going to include the Cinderella Castle. You're going to hear The Magic is Calling in a very water pageant-y melody. So very exciting that the water pageant is going to play into the 50th as well. Turning to Universal and Harry Potter news, The Secrets of Dumbledore actually got a release date. It is going to be released April 15th, 2022. That is the 3rd installment of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. So very excited about that. A very long-awaited announcement from the Harry Potter universe. Universal Orlando news, the Dark Arts Castle show is back at Universal Orlando. It started on September 18th and will run through until we transition to the Christmas season. Also, Universal news from abroad, Universal Studios Beijing opened on September 20th, so that is very exciting to add to a list of a bunch of international parks that we should check out. So the last section that I have for you for Bibbidi Bobbidi Broadcast is a new section. Yes, I wanted to keep theme park news, but I also wanted to highlight basic news stories, if you will. So anything in pop culture or things that you would see on E! News, basically. Just to celebrate our basicness, I figured that these were news stories that were important to me. So if you're listening to the podcast, they were probably important to you. So what has happened in the month of September? Freeform's 31 Nights of Halloween schedule has debuted. Of course, it includes all of the classics like Nightmare Before Christmas, Hocus Pocus, Ghostbusters, everything that we're used to seeing, but there's also some new fun-looking originals. That, of course, is linked down below as well. One news story that kind of got a lot of negative attention was the announcement of a show called The Activist. It was going to be hosted by Usher, Priyanka Chopra, and Julianne Hough. The Activist spotlights individuals who have made it their life's work to change the world for the better, as well as the incredible and often challenging work they do on the ground in their communities, said the representative of The Activist, after the show got a lot of negative attention because everyone felt like the vibe was that they were downplaying activism, making it trivial and kind of pitting others against each other instead of focusing on the work that these young activists were doing. So I definitely want to know what you guys think, if you would watch a show like that, or if you think that kind of brings negative light to activism, or if it's a good platform to kind of get the word out of young activists and their causes. Britney Spears got engaged. We all probably saw that, but I did want to highlight the enormous diamond ring that her fiance Sam gave her. Very happy for Britney Spears. Casey Musgraves dropped a new album called Star-Crossed on September 10th. It is all about her divorce. It is so melancholy and beautiful. If you haven't listened to it yet, you definitely need to. Of course, how can I skip over the Met Gala? That was a huge event that happened this month on September 13th. A couple of the highlights: Nicki Minaj did not attend because of a vaccination requirement. She has been very vocal about not getting the vaccine. Billie Eilish wore Oscar de la Renta on the condition that they no longer use fur in any of their designs. It is the first time that she wore this designer. Pretty monumental for the design world, just in general, with the popularity of cruelty-free fashion coming into the forefront. And then, of course, how can we not talk about Kim K and her faceless all-black Balenciaga look that inspired, in my humble opinion, some of the best memes ever, if not of 2021. Of course, on September 24th, the new iPhone 13 dropped, an iPhone 13 Pro Max. I do have the Pro Max in my hand. I do love it a lot. Pretty similar to iPhone 12, a lot of beautiful new colors, Sierra Blue being one of them. So I would love to know your thoughts on new iPhone, new tech, especially their sustainability practices. They launched a lot of new sustainability packaging with this drop. Also, iPad mini got a huge makeover. So definitely let me know your thoughts about the iPhone, just the Apple drop in general. Last but not least, for the basic news section, I did want to highlight the gymnasts Simone Biles, Michaela Maroney, Allie Reisman, and Maggie Nichols, who all testified before Congress this month in the Larry Nassar case. Actually, the handling of the Larry Nassar case. The former gymnast team doctor who pleaded guilty to multiple charges. He's now serving a sentence up to 175 years in prison. But at the Senate panel, all of the athletes described the way that the FBI actually handled their statements during and before these unfortunate circumstances. So that is still very much in the forefront of our minds. It was very, very emotional in the Senate hearing, and I would love to know your thoughts on this as well. And if anything develops, it will definitely be included in the future episodes. So I know that was a very long broadcast. Thank you so much for sticking with me. That's just what happens when we take a month-long break. I promise that next week's broadcast will be a lot less than what we just had. So now let's get into the episode because I know you guys are wanting to hear all about what we have planned for season 3. Hello, Magical Basics. Have you been thinking about starting your own podcast, but you don't really know where to begin? I completely understand because when Bibbidi Bobbidi Basics first launched, I felt the same exact way. Thank goodness I had Anchor to help me. If you've never heard of Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. I know what you're thinking. Katie, is it really that easy? Oh, it is. So let me tell you how. First, it's completely free. We love that. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. And then Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more platforms. You can even make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's literally everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Thank you so much to Anchor for sponsoring this episode. It's literally so insane to me to think about all of the changes and improvements that happen while we've been on our month-long break. So the first thing that you might have noticed that is different is that there was no booms or busts or obsessions at the beginning of this episode. These are 2 segments that I absolutely love, but I didn't want to use them for season 3 during the actual episode because I wanted to showcase all of the amazing interviews each week. I also really wanted to rework the title of these 2 segments. So, here's what these sections will look like from now on. Instead of being in each episode, they will be Instagram stories every single Monday. I'll post an IG story with a questions box, and I would love for you to share your personal experiences with the pod. We also would love to share your answers with everyone else in the community, so unless you express otherwise, I'll repost the responses I get to our story. That way we can celebrate with each other and grow our circle. They also have brand new names. So instead of booms and busts, we have Sorens and Splashes. Sorens will replace our booms as the highlights of your last week, while Splashes will replace the busts. Both are named after 2 of the most iconic rides at Disney, Soarin' and Splash Mountain. So Monday, October 4th will be the first IG story that we post this segment, so be sure to follow us and let us know about your week. The next segment that will replace Obsessions is called Your Pin of the Week. I've recently gotten into pin trading and thought this was a cute way to have a play on words and kind of Disney-fy this segment title as well. So this will also be an IG story with a question box where you can share what you want to quote unquote pin or highlight for the week that you've been obsessed with. I will also come on stories every Monday to share my pin and Sorens and Splashes with all of you. Second, let's talk about our new upload schedule. Nothing drastic is changing. I did still want to upload episodes at 8 a.m. for your commute or errand running pleasure, but I wanted the show to be something magical that could get you through your week and welcome in the weekend. So now we will upload the show every Wednesday at 8 a.m. starting on October 6th. I'm super excited for this new schedule, and that brings me into the next change that we have. Now that the episodes drop every Wednesday at 8 a.m., we will also be uploading videos every other, what we like to call, More Magic Mondays. These videos will be fun, Disney, Harry Potter, basic related lifestyle videos that are playful and give you a little bit more look into the Bibbidi Bobbidi Basics team and community. I'm so excited for you to watch these, so be sure that you are subscribed to the YouTube channel. So we've also added another form of content here on BBB. We added a blog to our website. At the beginning of the summer, I mentioned that we brought on a blog writer. I'm so excited to say that my friend Ariel has written 6 new blog posts that launched today on our brand new website. She talks all about seeing Happily Ever After for the first time, matching Disney characters with who they would fall in love with on The Bachelor, and more magically basic topics. So be sure to check out those posts and stay tuned every Tuesday for a new article on the blog. Speaking of our new website, if you are a longtime listener, I bet you can tell that BBB looks a lot different in season 3. We hope you love it. We completely reworked our graphics, color palette, and vibe to bring you something that is happy, playful, and youthful. We wanted all our magical basics to feel joy and inspired by the magical content that we make. So let us know what you think of the new look by reaching out on Instagram or in the comments down below on YouTube. So one last new element of our website that we are so excited for is our online store. When we were creating these illustrations and graphics, our team thought that these designs would look super cute on apparel and accessories. So we launched a shop. You can choose from several different items that have our designs, and they will ship directly to your door so you can share your love of Disney, Harry Potter, being basic, and BBB all at the same time. So something new that we wanted to bring to the table was Basic of the Week. This is a way for us to celebrate every one of you, the magical basics. If you want to be featured as our Basic of the Week, all you have to do is leave us a rate and review and drop your IG handle there, and we will choose randomly each week. We think this will be a fun way to have y'all be a part of the podcast and make magical friends along the way. Finally, let's talk about what you all want to know. The theme of season 3 and what it means. Well, if you haven't been peeping our teasers on the socials for the last month, the theme for season 3 is the one with all of my friends. If you want to hear a more in-depth reason why I went with the theme, listen or watch the season 3 trailer after this episode. I wanted this season to bring different people from all walks of life and showcase what it is about these magical worlds that we love that brings us together. So each week, I will have a different guest and we'll chat all about them and their personal experiences with Disney and Harry Potter and celebrate their basic side. We'll still do the Bibbidi Bobbidi broadcast each week, so you will be up to date on the current news, but I wanted these episodes to feel fun and like you were sitting on the hub grass or at the Three Broomsticks snacking with your pals. I can't wait for you to listen to each episode. I know you're going to love hearing from each guest as much as I did. So I am so excited that season 3 is finally here. I hope you're ready to hear from my friends and read the blogs and find a community that celebrates exactly who you are and how magical you can be. If you have someone in mind who would love this podcast, please share it with them and connect with us on our socials. We would love to have you as our friend. So until Wednesday, stay magical. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to follow the pod and let me know what you thought of today's episode. All of our links are in the show notes and description box down below. And if you're listening to today's episode, please give us a rate and review, and don't forget to include your Instagram handle to be featured as our Basic of the Week. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. I upload new episodes on Wednesday and other videos for more Magic Mondays. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Until then, Basics, stay magical.